This is Byron Lazine and Nicole White, and you are tuned into episode 247 of The Real Word.
Word is up.
All right,
247.
we're getting into my favorite topic right off the bat with racket number one, pets. Landlords are charging tenants pet rent and $600 fees. Some pet owners already under pressure from rising rents are not happy, Nicole.
Mm-hmm.
Apartment owners point to increased wear and tear caused by furry friends, including the cleaning, maintenance, and landscaping of any maimed areas.
I was
All
waiting
right.
for you to say that word.
Yeah, I saw it and I almost freaked out. I was like, what is that?
I'm sure you did.
I actually
Your
just got this.
fingertips went a little numb. Yeah, you were a little nervous.
So I downloaded this app.
Yeah.
It's called Elevate,
Mm-hmm.
and it just gives you like new words every single day.
Oh boy.
And you have to kind of like match up the meaning. So it's like
Like
a
you're
quick hitter.
it's giving you like a quiz, like a spelling bee every day, kind of.
No, you don't have to spell it. Like you're matching up the
No, but
meaning.
wow.
So
Look at
the
you.
pronunciation and the meaning, and it's
So are
10
you
seconds.
using your new words each day? What was your word today?
I just started this couple. I'm like a couple days in.
Okay, I'm
I
excited
think as
to.
we go forward a few weeks into,
A
more
new word
podcasts,
every
you'll
day
see a
is a
difference.
lot. I feel like I
Yeah.
could handle maybe a new word a week, but every day, that's pressure.
The writers at BAM are already decades ahead of me, so I'm playing catch up to get on their
Why,
level.
you're gonna be a writer now? I didn't like you're adding
Well,
that?
I just want to be smarter. I want to be speaking more intelligently
Huh.
with better words. All right, let's get back into the pets, our
Let's
furry
just
friends.
pronounce words properly. Maybe we start there.
Yeah, and we can
Yeah.
start there.
Yeah.
Okay, so Chris Ross, he's a 25-year-old cybersecurity analyst living in the Manassas, Virginia area. He's got a
Mhm.
4-year-old retriever mix. Okay.
Yep.
I don't think I can name any rental complexes as far as corporate landlords or smaller landlords that don't engage in this practice, quote unquote, this practice, at
Mhm.
least not in my area, this practice of landlords raising the rent or having some type of pet rent fee. I kind of proceed with the assumption that everywhere is going to ask for a little more for a pet, a little more to a lot more.
Mhm.
Okay. This was this 25-year-old's comments, who is a tenant, a renter, not a home owner. But commonplace or not, throwing down extra money for pet rent definitely does add to a growing list of reasons that a renter might feel pretty bitter about the whole rental situation, Ross goes on to say. He currently pays $45 a month in pet rent, which, because he's owned Goose, this retriever mix.
Mhm. Goose. I wanted to name my dog Goose.
Yeah, I should have named it Grey Goose.
Grey Goose.
Grey Goose, like the
Tito was
drink.
one of the options, but the
I
kids said no.
Here's what I'll say about Ross. Ross,
Mhm.
I appreciate you, my man. You are following my golden rule, not just for golden retrievers, but for all pets. You should only name your pet a animal name. Goose would be an animal. Goose is a bird, right? You should not be allowed to name pets human names. It's very
Like
confusing.
William, like not no
Yeah,
Will,
like
like
Bill or
Byron.
Byron
Yeah.
or Tom or
Yeah.
Sarah. These would not be names. You,
Sarah, that is
yeah,
really
I see our BAM writer Sarah in the background, so I'm like,
you had
I'll
to throw
use
her out there.
here's my dog Sarah. Okay, it's so odd. I like this, Ross. You've named your dog Goose. I used
Goose.
to back in the day. I had a cat. I named him Gator. Okay,
Isn't that from, Top Gun 2? Isn't the guy's name Goose on there? Yeah. And, like, Goose
I
and
just
Maverick, I love it, yeah.
you just take another animal and you give
Bird.
the name
Yeah,
of the
like
animal.
chicken.
Yeah, you name your dog Chicken. You name it Elephant. You name it Giraffe. These are things that I think are acceptable. Okay, not
Wow.
another human's name. Anyway, so I props there to Ross. All right, so $45 a month in pet rent. He's owned Goose since 2019.
Yeah.
This is added up to nearly $2,000 in additional rent. This is a 59-pound dog that he's had to add to the lease. It also required a $300 deposit. Ross said that $300 deposit is not refundable. It's meant to cover the purchase of new carpets
I've
once
never in
he
my
vacates
life
the
been
unit.
able to find a carpet for $300, but
No, I agree. So $300 is just going to get you started
yeah.
as the landlord in replacing carpets. Nicole,
Yeah.
your thoughts on, because somebody in here, we'll get. I'm going to give you some more quotes in the article.
Yeah, please.
Somebody believes that there should be no pet rent, extra rent,
Mhm.
if
Yeah.
you've got a pet. If there's carpets in the unit, would you move in to a unit, to a house? I
Mhm.
know, we get it. You've lived in the same house since you were, 2 months old. But if you were to move somewhere new
Yes.
and there was somebody else living there before you, it wasn't
Yes.
brand new,
Yeah.
and there was a dog, and
There
you're a
before.
new dog homeowner and you have
Mhm.
rental property, but
Yep.
would you move into a space
Mhm.
that a family and a dog were living in and there's carpets in that space? Would you move in to it existing with just, okay, I've cleaned the carpets. Okay, so I've got the rental, I've cleaned the carpets. This family before you had a 59-pound golden retriever. Would you move into that space and keep the
Oh my,
carpets?
I don't I'd have to see the space. I'd have to see the space. I'd have to.
Carpets, they were
Yes.
new. This 59-year pound
'Cause
retriever
I've had
lived
so
there for 3
yeah, I
years.
mean, I've had a landlord I've had tenants in my house before that have a dog. Pretty much the same thing. Probably this exact same dog, this goose dog or whatever. Um, and the dog was very clean and it was fine. I was able to just bring a professional carpet cleaner in to clean the carpets. With that being said, though, I also knew the new tenants coming in were like a bunch of boys, like literally they were children, like boys, like what would make a little young 20s, and they were bringing in another dog. So I had zero intent on replacing those carpets knowing that another dog was gonna be going in there, but once they moved out, I 100% replaced the carpets because there was no way that I was gonna be able to rent it with dirty, smelly, gross carpets. So, I also wanted a better caliber renter. So, would I move it? Probably not. I would probably want new carpets, just like I would want the walls painted and it cleaned. Yeah, I so the answer is no, I would not move in.
Yeah, me
Yeah,
personally, there's not a chance I'd ever.
no.
I mean, I would prefer never to move into a space that a dog has been living before me, unless it's been completely gutted.
Yeah.
They're low
Gutted,
to,
like new sheetrock too?
or you can paint the sheetrock, but basically all the floors would have to come up,
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I
or
refinished the
refinished.
hardwoods because again, the dog even urinated on my hardwood floors, so, like, I had to refinish hardwood floors. Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean, dogs are low to the ground, and they don't wear shoes and take them off at the front door.
for
They go
sure.
outside, their paws are in the
Dirty.
mix. It could
Yep.
be, you know,
Mhm.
bad things,
Everything.
dirty things, lots of
Many
things, any
things,
all
which is
kind.
why we all take our shoes off at the door.
That's right. And
Yes.
so they're gonna track all that stuff in the house. I don't know. I find that I know people love their dogs, and people, it's almost like, my crap doesn't stink type of mentality. Oh,
Yeah. It's
people with
my dog. Yeah.
you've got a new dog. Are you French kissing this dog?
No. No.
Tongue down the
No.
dog's.
No, thank you. Thanks,
Th
though. Thank you for
Well,
the visual.
there's some people that do that, and it's like they don't think their dog is carrying any germs. I don't know,
Yeah.
maybe dogs can't pass germs. Morgan,
I don't know.
who's also a renter, Morgan asked Market Watch not to use their full name because they
Yeah.
were concerned it would cause issues with their landlord.
So
Morgan
funny.
pays $1,600 for their two-bedroom townhouse in, Lawrenceville, Georgia. So they move in July. They had to fork over a security deposit worth 2 months of rent,
Mhm.
which included a $600 non-refundable pet fee for their 2 cats. Cats can be destructive, right? I mean, cats can.
Their cats are worse. Yeah, like the
Okay,
kitty, because then you're peeing inside, there's, like, litter. Yeah, the whole
there
thing's
you go.
miserable.
So $600 of non-refundable pet fee for the 2 cats and the first month rent. On top of those costs, Morgan pays $30 a month in pet rent for their cat, Catechus Finch and Scout. Great names, Morgan. Love the names of the cats. You didn't go with something crazy like Sarah.
Sarah. Yeah.
You don't want to do that.
No.
So, but Morgan is the one that says She personally does not think that pet rent should exist at all. And if so, if it does exist, it
Yeah.
should be scaled to the size of the animal. Okay, so I love how all of these tenants, all of these renters
Mhm.
have all these opinions. Okay,
Right.
there's a
Buy
UK
your own
sur-
place. Buy your own rent your own, put you be the landlord.
there's a UK survey. 85% of landlords and agents incurred damage to the property due to pets. But also, when surveyed further, 85%, almost 85%, 84 and change, said that they also had damage by adults, and 55% said they have damage by kids. So kids are creating the least amount of damage when, according to this survey,
Mm,
when you put them in the category of pets, adults, and kids. Kids have the least amount of damage, which is shocking to me. I watch my kids just walk around and destroy things.
right.
Also, a low to the ground creature that
Creature.
these low low to the ground creatures
Mm,
can inflict a lot of damage.
mhm.
So it's interesting to me how many of these tenants have so many opinions on what they should be charged for their pet. You can make a rule. Before the show, you contacted an attorney
I did.
for
My
the state of Connecticut, and so
Yeah.
state of Connecticut, for example, only 2 months of
You
rent can
cannot
you collect.
exceed 2 months. So, I was listening to what you were saying, because it sounds like they said part of her 2 months rent, part of that is non-refundable. So,
Uh,
you could then technically do it that way. Maybe you're charging a month and a half, and then, part of
and
that
saying a
month
half a month
is
non-refundable
non-refundable, yeah. I mean, at the
because you
end
have
of
a
the
pet.
day, I'm rarely, if there is a pet and the amount of like, you're rarely giving that deposit money back anyway because of the destruction. But again, I don't mean to interrupt your thought there, but
No, every state's gonna be different on how they
yes,
deal with tenants and how they deal with if you can charge more
more, yeah.
for a pet rent.
Yeah, there can't be a pet, they can't, and you're not allowed to call it a pet deposit either in
Well, maybe in some states you can. So what
yes,
you're
yes.
talking about is
It's
one
just in
particular
state, yeah,
state,
I wanted
but
clarity in Connecticut after reading this article, yes.
but every state's going to be different. In the
Yes.
comments below, what's this look like in your state? Can you charge a pet rent? Can you exceed 2 months of rent and on top of that put a pet fee in? And do you think landlords should? Now, what you can do, I'm certain across the board is it's not discriminatory to say, okay, I'm going to rent out this space and I'm going to say no to pets. I advise new landlords all the time and agents, what do you do in the comments below? I advise them to say no to pets. Okay. Now it's
But you
going to,
can't then ever go back on that though, because then someone can come after you
well,
for
you can change the rules down the road on the next tenant. If you want to change your rules and your
yeah,
policies, you certainly could do that. My point is if you have a renovated space, okay, and you're not comfortable with the 85% increased chance of incurring damage due to pets, you could say no pets. It's more manageable for a new landlord or somebody who's just getting started to be able to create this policy. You will though decrease your pool by
100%.
probably over 50%.
Absolutely. So I think you're better off, honestly, just jacking up the rent, assuming that there will be a pet, and then welcoming the pet. You've already worked the cost into your monthly expense. Then people aren't hustling and bustling over like, oh, I'm paying $30 more a month. Because again, that the rent is what the rent is. Because I agree with you. I mean, you are eliminating a huge
If
pool of people if you're not allowing a pet.
if you do allow pets in your rental, it's something you want in like the first line of your marketing. We take pets because a lot of times people that have a dog are striking out
Right.
trying to find a place to rent. If you're a tenant, if you're a renter and you have this very strong opinion on whether landlords should be able to charge a pet fee, it's time for you to save up and get
Time to buy
into
a
a place
house.
where you can become a homeowner,
Yeah.
right? I mean, it's ridiculous that this Market Watch article has all these opinions from tenants on how they should be charged due to their pet. Nobody told you to get a pet. Nobody told you to be a tenant, by the way.
Mhm.
So maybe you take those thousands of dollars you're investing into your pet and put them towards becoming a homeowner so you can make the rules of your land. You can be the king of your castle. You can be the queen, and you can make all the rules, and you can get as many pets as you want after that.
As many as
Heck,
you want.
you could even name them human names if you wanted to. When you have this sea of pets in your backyard, you could do whatever it is that you want. Okay.
Well, what's interesting though is then they'll be bitching that they have to replace their carpets every 2
Oh,
years, and they're gonna be pissed off that they have to do more fertilizer because they got brown spots in their backyard. Yeah,
have you ever gone to a listing appointment and for some reason certain dogs will do this. They'll just like chew the trim on the side of the doors. They just like bite the trim, and you
yeah.
just see like all the paint chipped off and just nothing but doggy bite marks on the bottom of these doors. And then the homeowner will say to you, "Do you think I should have that replaced? Hello, you think anybody wants your chewed up wood from, you know, doggy do? I don't think
Doggy
anybody wants
do. You
that."
mean from Goose? No,
From
no one
Goose,
wants
little Goose. Nobody wants Goose's teeth
no one wants
marks.
Goose's teeth marks.
How clean has your new dog been?
Oh, he's great. He's
He's
great.
great. Okay.
I have though a limit. I have rolled up because I have hardwood floors, but I have rolled up all of my like throw rugs. So
Yeah.
those are rolled up in I'm storing those away until we're well into this. So yeah, but he's been great. I can't complain. He's
Dogs are a lot of
a
work.
lot of work.
It's hard work, and people love their dogs, and people are paying more every single year to have a dog, doctor bills,
Doctor
higher
bills.
rent,
Yeah.
all of this kind of stuff.
I think you can get insurance on these things. I mean, it's
Yeah. It makes more sense to be a homeowner to me if you've got a dog, two dogs, couple cats, whatever. I'd consider that, I'd consider that for agents to, educate any tenants that they know with dogs,
animals. Yeah.
these rising rent costs. All right. What we all need more of maybe isn't pets, but it's definitely more listings. It's why, Nicole, you and I have decided to invest in PropStream. You can do the same by trying it for free. There's a 7-day free trial in the link below. We all need more listings right now. You can create these smart lists and get contacts for as little as 10 cents a contact. You can search on market, off market listings, pre foreclosure filings, and public auctions. You can target cash buyers, high equity, mortgage and interest rates, free and clear properties. How about targeting people who own the property outright? Maybe you can score a deal for yourself, Nicole, an investment, or somebody who's in a position where they can list the property. Bankruptcy filings, divorce filings. 2023 divorces are going to be on the up and up.
Up and
They're going
up.
to be they're going to be skyrocketing. I don't know if up and up was the right term, but they are going to be trending up, which creates listing opportunities for people ahead of the game. Use PropStream to find all this data. 7-day free trial.
Wait, so you can really search by divorce?
Divorce, flippers, pre-probate,
Wow.
zombie properties, senior owners. There are a number of quick smart list PropStreams created. You can create your own smart list as well. Check that out in the link below. 7-day free trial for PropStream. All right, Nicole.
Pop it like it's hot.
Inman article, bracket number 2, Opendoor is where Zillow offers was 1 year ago. This is an article by Mike Del Preti. A year ago, Zillow offers was in a similar position to where Opendoor now finds itself, and Zillow shut down its iBuying operations. We know that happened a year ago when they were in this position. Here's why the path forward might be different this time. So Del Preti is not predicting that Opendoor will go the way of Zillow offers and shut its doors. Opendoor obviously has cornered the iBuying market. When it comes to prop tech around iBuying, not your local flipper or your local, buyer of properties direct from consumers, but the big, company in the marketplace, Opendoor, that they own it all. All right, so let's just look at quarter 3 2022. Let's compare it to quarter 3 2022, 2021 rather. So Opendoor's quarter 3 this year to Zillow offers quarter 3 of 21, and we could put this table up, Bobby. So net loss, Opendoor this past quarter three, $928 million they lost in quarter three, almost a billy.
Hopefully they bought one of those Powerball tickets. I mean,
Yeah.
that's over a
Did
billion
you
right now.
did you see the scandal last night?
Well, it's not a scandal. It sounds like all 48 lotto divisions have to have all of their numbers in before
Yeah.
they can pull it, and one state did not have
Biggest
all of their sales in.
I think it's the biggest Powerball drawing of all time,
Ever,
and
of
now
all
they
time.
did they delay it on
They delay
election
it.
day.
I love it.
It's just crazy to me. Okay, so Opendoor, almost $1 billion net loss in quarter three 2022. Zillow offers 422 million quarter three of 21. So more than half,
Yep.
okay, for of a net loss for Opendoor. Write downs 573 million Opendoor, 304 million Zillow offers. Net loss per home sold. Quarter three of 22 for Opendoor, $42,000 net loss per home sold, 39,000 for Opendoor. So very similar on per home sold,
Yep.
the net loss.
Loss.
Right down per home, 34,000 to 31,000. Last week, Opendoor announced that it lost nearly $1 billion during the third quarter of the year. The result of selling too many homes at a loss. That'll do it.
That
That
will do it.
that might do it, Opendoor.
Makes sense.
So why it matters exactly 1 year ago, Zillow faced a similar situation, and they subsequently shut it down. The cause and effect in each case is similar, with nearly identical financial implications, but the paths forward differ. Okay, so Zillow's net loss of this $928 million for the quarter is more than double. But it's a matter of scale. They sold twice as many homes, so they're just selling more homes
At
at this
at
net
this
loss.
loss. Yeah.
Okay. Also, the write down per inventory is nearly identical, but obviously more homes. Okay. Here's what I think, Nicole.
Yep.
I think it's almost impossible for another iBuyer to come in and like take the brand that Opendoor has. You might argue that well, who wants this $1 billion loss in a quarter? Okay, you could definitely argue that. I think that what I've been saying has been right all along. This isn't a market maker. This isn't going to take over 50% of the market. All of those predictions were absolutely insane. Everybody
Insane.
who's invested in Opendoor is feeling the brunt of it. Zillow, it's a win here. They got out early. I think Zillow is going to be somebody in the next 5 years when you look at their stock that you're going to say, okay, they've really come back in a big way. They've got Opendoor right where they want them as a partner. Opendoor needs Zillow. They need the leverage that Zillow has of being a platform that everybody uses, and they don't have to be in the risky business of iBuying.
Right.
I said this on a previous Real Word. Opendoor could maybe use these losses now to recoup cash and come back into the market. We're going to hear starting at least as early as tomorrow that the recession has started in this country in a big way. We had a technical recession. Everybody swept that under the rug. And now the Fed and everybody else, we get past midterms. They're going to say, hey, the recession's a real thing and housing is at the front of it. And so you're likely to see, a lot of forecasters are saying you will see deals in a lot of cities. Okay. Phoenix is one of those areas. And you might see Opendoor come back into these markets and buy even more inventory at a discount with the money that they just took a loss on, but they recouped cash. Okay. Key learnings. It's very challenging for an iBuyer to respond to sudden market volatility. Okay, so that this would go against what I just said, especially changes in home price appreciation. Or it points towards why they took these big losses. At the desired scale iBuyers want to operate at, the results of downward pricing pressure can be financially catastrophic. Asset light, not buying the actual house, is taking more prominence in the evolution of iBuyer business. So actually not buying it, but this power buyer model has been popular with some of these newer companies. While Zillow offers folded, Opendoor has no choice but to continue on in a challenging and volatile market, making adjustments to its business model as it goes. One thing is clear to me. Going forward, any iBuyer, and Opendoor leading the charge, is going to have to charge exorbitant fees to the consumer to one day be profitable.
Right.
This is good for us as agents. Opendoor being an option for consumers to look at and say, okay, I have one buyer here. I'm not testing the market. I'm not getting the highest price possible for my home. And oh, by the way, I have to pay an extremely high fee because said company, Opendoor, has to make up for all these losses and someday, one day down the road, become profitable. This is good for the agents that know how to explain this to consumers and know how to show other options to the people in their community. I think what's happening with Opendoor opens up huge opportunity for the agent community. Nicole, I think Opendoor's always been a racket. This is further proving my point of that. Your thoughts?
I 100% agree. The whole yeah, I mean, $1 billion loss. I don't even know how you continue on, but yeah, no, the whole thing's been a racket from the very beginning. I agree though. We've been talking about this for years though, Byron.
I've been
Somehow.
laughed at for years on YouTube by market maker experts that have
Well, yeah.
invested their money into
Inman, I think
Opendoor.
Brad one year thought that the iBuyer, I think that was 2020, right before the pandemic. That was one of his predictions, that iBuyer was going to be a majority. But regardless, again, we've been saying for at least a year or 2 years that, somehow having your own creative sort of open door option within your business should absolutely be part of
Hey,
your marketing.
how
So,
can you undercut them in your local market? Listen, they paid $63 million as a fine. Their fees better be transparent going forward. So you're going to have the opportunity to know transparent fees, be able to undercut them, be able to show your value as the local expert and why the consumer can benefit more using your services. There's
right.
so many advantages to a big company like this stumbling their way through learning the real estate market with a bunch of degrees that don't know the market, making decisions for them. A bunch of paper university plaques are deciding how they buy and sell homes. Oh, and their algorithm, of course. There's that too. All right.
All right, ready?
This is the biggest left, middle, right segment
I think you say
ever.
that every week. Every week.
Because no, this is the biggest one because it's on election day. So the final segment of the Real Word Left, Middle, Right, we started doing this a couple months ago. This is the headlines in politics real estate entrepreneurs and agents need to know right now. Nicole, what do we have on this midterm election day?
So, from the Wall Street Journal, we have gambling, marijuana, and taxing the rich will be on midterm ballots.
Okay, let's break it down. Marijuana, the devil's lettuce, as some say.
The devil's lettuce?
Some
Did you
may
just
say, some
did
may
you just
say,
make that up?
no, that's a thing. That's a
You say
real thing.
that? That's Bobby? Bobby, see that
Bobby says that.
you stole that from Bobby? Oh
Good,
my lord.
good little boys who went to Bobby. Did you go to Catholic school or something? What did,
No.
no,
No, he's
okay.
from Long Island. Do they even have
Goes to,
Catholic schools on Long Island?
of course they do. Probably Irish Catholic schools. Anyways, according to CNBC, Nicole,
Yes.
the 5 states that are going to be voting today on marijuana: Arkansas, Maryland, Missouri, North Dakota, and South Dakota. Okay. Interestingly enough, we just released a BAM article just this past week. 69% of Americans would buy a home within a 1-mile radius of a cannabis dispensary. From 2014 to 2019, home values increased $22,888 more in cities with legal retail dispensaries than in cities where recreational cannabis was illegal. 52% of those surveyed would consider buying a home right next door to a cannabis dispensary. 70% of those surveyed would pay at market rent or more for a house near a cannabis related amenity. 22% would actually pay above market rate. Here's my argument. I think that the debate on whether marijuana should be legalized or not it's over. Okay. All 50 states should probably get on board with this. There's enough data now on the tax benefits for each and every state for doing this. And then I think once all 50 voted in, you'll see the federal government come in and make this, legal across the board. There's no data that points towards it destructing home values. If there was data that pointed towards that, I'd be against it, of course, as a real estate entrepreneur and professional. Anything that decreases people's home values, I'm against. There's no data that points towards that. There hasn't been any significant data on accidents increasing. There hasn't been significant data on crime or anything like that. So it's been net positive across the board. So I would say in those 5 states, go vote it in. Okay. And if I'm a real estate entrepreneur, I'm in favor of that vote. Anything that can increase taxes without increasing income or property taxes is good for the community. Okay. Let's go to legalizing sports betting. Okay. In California, they are looking to increase sports betting. This, according to the Wall Street Journal, has been a huge point of contention. Okay. So FanDuel and DraftKings, they've poured $160 million into Proposition 27, but they faced vigorous opposition from California's gaming tribes, which spent $220 million opposing it. So almost $500 million in this Proposition 27. California, obviously, enormous state. They legalized sports betting. It's a huge win to me for Californians because it increases taxes on something that's happening without them. Okay. So, people are going to, my argument has always been on sports betting. It should be legal everywhere because people are going to bet on the NFL, whether the government's involved or not. They're going to do it with their bookie. All right. Nicole, your thoughts on those two,
Well, I
marijuana
mean,
and gambling?
yeah, I mean, 100%. I mean, especially the marijuana side, I agree with you in terms of being able to make some money off of it. I mean, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? People are going to, have an edible and fall asleep. I mean, I mean, right?
Yeah, you could do that. It happens. Edibles are dangerous. Kids, don't do drugs.
N-
Okay. All right. Now we got the next one, taxing the rich. Okay. This is where a state that takes this too far could lose residents. I would encourage everybody, I've pointed people towards this website before. Go to How Money Walks, click on the tab, explore the data. California is looking at increasing taxes on personal income of $2 million or more. Well, California is on, every state is on this map of How Money Walks. California has lost $82.32 billion in annual AGI, a wealth migration study over the last 20 years. So wealth is walking out of California. Okay. We've heard from a number of agents where this isn't positive long term for the health of their real estate economics. Okay. If this passes, that could be bad for California. Massachusetts, the Wall Street Journal says, is considering, or they're having a vote today. They're not considering it. It is something that Massachusetts residents will be able to vote on. They're weighing whether to add a 4% tax on personal incomes of $1 million or more, bringing the total rate for that bracket to 9% income tax. Funds would go towards education and transportation in that state. Massachusetts, also one of the states where, like Connecticut, like New York, where you're seeing wealth exit the state. So it's in red on this How Money Walks. You could put up the chart too on that one, Bobby, if you're watching on YouTube. Okay, you can see that the southeast sector of the country is in green. Florida, Texas, Nevada, Tennessee. These are no state income states, okay? No state income tax. They're seeing wealth migration flock, which means, there's going to be more property taxes. There's going to be more, if there's more sales tax in these states, they're gaining residents. So those ones, if I'm a real estate professional in Massachusetts, I would definitely be talking to my clients that are making over $1 million, getting a consensus, but I'd be cautious to support that. Maybe neighboring states, Nicole, maybe a Connecticut is going to see some million plus earners
Yeah, maybe start working the border. Maybe if you're a Mass, get your license
work
in Connecticut.
work the border.
Work the borders. Yeah.
You might see some folks leave Mass and go to Connecticut because they can commute. You've seen that with some folks in New York. Certainly the pandemic, to our point on last week's Real Word, it fueled that migration. You definitely saw New Yorkers say, you know what? I can live a better lifestyle in the burbs of CT, get out of the city, and by the way, avoid that city tax, pay far less in income tax, even though Connecticut is still one of the highest. And that if you add up a cumulative tax, Connecticut and Illinois are in the top two. So maybe somebody from Mass would say, well, a cumulative tax, they'd have to do the math on whether this extra 4% is going to push them over the edge if they're $1 million plus earner. Your thoughts on all of that? Where do you stand on the gambling? Where do you stand on the weed? And where do you stand on taxing the rich? Which one of those three are you fully supportive of?
Well, I'm fully I'm fully supportive of the marijuana side. I mean, right now, even in our state, it's now legal here, but you still have to cross the border to get it. So right now, again, Mass is certainly getting Connecticut's money in that regard. So
Recreational, though, in Connecticut will
recreation,
start in 2023. So
yes, it's coming for sure. But again, as
when
of this moment right now, you have to go to Massachusetts. And again, they've have them beautifully positioned right again, they're working the border.
working the border and
They're
maybe,
working the
and to your
border.
point, maybe Connecticut does that for these million plus earners. If Arkansas, Maryland, Missouri, and the two Dakotas all vote in marijuana like Connecticut did a couple of years ago, there will be a long, timeline before they
Process,
get
yeah.
up and running. You
Yep.
got to get the licensing out.
Yeah.
You've got to make sure there's due diligence with these licensees.
Yep.
How they're going to run the dispensary, how they're going to run everything. But why would you give these tax dollars to another state? It makes sense to keep it in-house if you can.
For sure.
You wouldn't ban liquor, which is more dangerous than alcohol, and let another state get all the tax benefits. People are going to drink anyways. I think that was proven 100 years ago, that people are going to drink no matter what you do.
Yeah.
When was I'm referring to the prohibition, Nicole.
Yeah. No, I'm hearing you, but I didn't know I was gonna be quizzed on dates.
Nicole, we're doing a little prohibition holiday party, aren't we?
Yeah, well, yes, our Christmas party is at like
It's holiday part, Nicole.
holiday. I'm sorry.
It's a holiday party,
Our
okay?
holiday
There's other holidays that
90.
we're
Our
celebrating.
Yes, our holiday party is at a speakeasy. It's called
Yeah.
1928. Yes.
Good. Okay. Anyways.
28 to 33.
Yeah, so we have to get our you have to like knock on the door and you have to give like a little code word.
Yeah, they give the code.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
Yep.
that.
Yep.
All right. All right. Let us know your thoughts on all these topics. If you're watching this day of release, listening to it on the pod, I would love for you to go out and vote. I've got my little vote sticker on.
Vote. And check
definitely
your Powerball tickets. They picked the numbers. They finally picked those numbers.
Oh,
Maybe you
wow.
can-
Yeah. I don't have a
maybe-
power. Did you get a ticket?
It's so funny. I didn't. We were out to dinner with a couple last night, and during dinner, the husband was like, "I'll be right back," and he ran to
He
mobile.
left dinner
He
to go
left
get it?
dinner because we were. I
So he
think
got in his car. Where were you eating dinner?
we were right down at we were down at Amarone's. So
He had to get in his car to go do it.
well, he walked home because we were with the Connollys. He walked home, got his kid's bike.
Oh, this is after dinner, not during dinner. You
Well,
made it sound like mid-dinner.
Well, we were still sitting at our
You
table
guys were
at
having
a
after dinner drink.
restaurant.
You guys were having after
We're
dinner
definitely
drinks.
having after dinner drinks, but
Yeah.
they were closing sales at 10, so he bolted on his bike and got himself a ticket. And it says there was a winner, a $2.3 million winner in Stratford. So I'll have to find out if he rode his bike to Stratford.
I don't think he did. That would have been I don't think he would have made it home that
No,
night.
he wouldn't have made it home. No.
Knowing how you guys consume the
dinner.
liquids
After dinner.
during the dinner.
After dinner drinks. Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Anyway.
no during dinner edibles though. It's not,
No.
yeah.
No.
It's not
No.
fully recreational in
No.
CT. Okay.
No.
Love your thoughts below. Consider subscribing. I would love for you to subscribe to the BAM YouTube. If you're listening on a pod, a review would be much appreciated. Love you guys. Love doing this show. And we'll see you next week on the greatest podcast in real estate history. The Real. Keep it real.